please.
Do I have to actually talk right into this?
No.
I don't.
It makes you feel more comfortable. Hello.
I feel like a newsreader. This is Kevin Bower from CNN.
Yeah. Thanks for the
No problem. It's a great pleasure.
this chance.
Thanks for being interested.
Of course.
Nobody else is.
Your band was one of the most interesting surprises that has ever occurred to me on a festival. You're soon up with a new album in the market. How much can we know at this point?
The new album is, we hope to deliver it to Nuclear Blast by the end of August,
Okay.
which means that the release should be September, October. Because the first album was so well received, and because it sold so well, and because it was everything that it was, we know that we have a lot to prove with the second one, and we've kind of approached it in a... I mean, and the other really big issue is the fact that the first album, all the songs were already written, and all we had to do was to polish them and modernise them, whereas we practically used up all of the old back catalogue. Now, as the band's principal songwriter, it's taken me probably 2 years to write the next album, and the reason why it's taken such a long time is, as I was just about to say, we have a lot to prove with this. We're not the kind of band who will accept second best in anything that we do. There's this constant quest to improve the music and the appearance and the stage show and just everything that we do.
It's a hard one.
So most of the writing process consisted of me spending days and days in the studio writing stuff and then just deleting it all because I just didn't think it was good enough. So, you know, what we have left, the stuff that didn't end up in the rubbish bin, is really the best that we can possibly do. And the second thing I think that's really important, and which hopefully everybody will hear when the album is released, is that most albums these days, they tend to be kind of recorded in the studio first, and then the band will go away and learn how to play all the new material to go out and do shows. And the problem with that is that the album can often sound very artificial and very, cut and pasted together, especially with a lot of the modern metal genres. And we're also determined that this wouldn't happen. So the approach we've taken with this one is that all of the new songs, 6 months ago, Andy Sneap and I started spending time in the studio with a drum computer program, actually recording demos of all of this material. And a lot of the songs we actually took out and played live. At the Derby show that you came to, there were three new songs there. And having the ability to actually learn to play these things as a band and go out and try them in front of audiences has been invaluable. Because it's meant that we can instantly figure out if something is working really well or if it's not, and then we'll take it away and make little changes. But also, once you start playing new songs live as a band, changes start to happen almost organically. You start to push and pull on the tempos, and you get little ideas and little fills and little hooks around kind of vocal lines, and obviously it inspires everybody to kind of put more ideas in. And so the songs have, even though they've been written kind of 5 or 6 months ago, they've evolved from the original demo form. Some of them we've shortened them and put additional bits in. So it's shaping up really, really well. And even though I don't want to give too much away, what I can tell you is that the next album will be darker than the first one. In terms of some of the music that's on there, it will be much darker lyrically because David has just blossomed as a really fantastic lyric writer. And like the ideas and stuff that we have for the cover, the artwork is just, we think it'll really upset a lot of people, which is great. So we're and also last week at Bang Your Head in Ballingen in Germany. That festival is only kind of 25 kilometres from where Nuclear Blast are based. So all the Nuclear Blast guys were down there, and we played them. It's the first time they've heard it, and like they're really excited about it as well. So yeah, and we have a title, but I'm not going. I'm going to keep this till a little bit later. So,
but on the previous album, you added a lot of small little effects and passings and everything.
Yeah.
Children choir or
yeah, all that stuff. I mean, and that's another really important thing to say, is that everything that everybody loved about the first album will still be on this one, but more and bigger and stranger. In actual fact, all the like the first album just ran non-stop. Like you start at the beginning and all the way to the end. This one will do the same. But I mean, the best thing I can say is that we have a provisional running order for everything as well, and like the first 15 minutes, at the end of the first 15 minutes, you're just dead. It's so exhausting. It's onslaught of stuff, which is great. But yeah, I mean, all of the soundscapes and all the humour and all the strange things that were around on the first one will definitely be on the second one, and probably more as well. And that's something that's still like developing all the time. Because again, in exactly the same way that when you record a demo and then you play the song live, it gives you more ideas to put more into it.
How often do you guys get to practice? Because on stage you're quite a compact band, but you've been idle for such a long time, so you don't sound as the kind of band that gets time to practice, but probably...
Well, we do.
Well,
the thing, as I said earlier on, I mean, everything that we do is done to a level of quality, and the only way that level of quality can be maintained is to rehearse regularly.
So how often?
At least every week. At least one night every week. And obviously, at the moment, we had Ballingen last week. We have Hammer Open Air today. We have Bloodstock, which is the most important show of the year probably for us in our home country. Is it 3 weeks' time? Yeah. And then obviously at the beginning of November there's like 26 shows across 13 countries with a monomorph and carcass. So we do rehearse. Obviously we're evolving new ideas as well all the time for the stage set, and some of the stuff that you saw at Derby with the stilts and the trident and all this stuff. And you can't, with all the pyrotechnics as well, you cannot just walk out on stage and just hope that everything is going to be all right. And obviously our rehearsals, they also include our crew guys and everybody else involved in the production as well. So yeah, it's an important part of what we do.
You're not so scared of the upcoming tour?
No, scared? No.
Bands that don't rehearse have a hard time going.
Well, it's all about quality, Andrea. You can, you ask a football player, professional football player, he trains. All the public see is like the 90 minutes on a Saturday, and they expect the guy to be fantastic and score goals. But into that 90 minutes goes a whole week's of training and everything else, and it's just the same for us as well.
That's great to hear. Will you take the Church of Hell with you on the tour?
No. 2 reasons. Three reasons. First, cost. We have a very, very limited budget to do the tour. Secondly, the fact that it's not our tour, it's a monomorphs. It's a monomorphs tour and it's Carcasses tour. We're the opening band. We will go on and do 35-40 minutes and our job is to warm up the crowd for the headline act, and we're honoured and privileged to be on it with them. But our day will come. There will be a headline Hell tour X years in the future, and with the full. If we were popular enough and if we had the budget, we'd be doing what Rammstein do. That is the goal. Seriously, that's where we would like to be.
To see you closer on a boat.
Just more fire. Yeah.
Cool. Tell us the story of the church. How did it come to life?
The Church of Hell?
Yeah.
I don't know that it was just we play shows, and obviously we're away in foreign countries for a lot, and we spend a lot of time waiting around, and like today we've been waiting all day and we're not going on stage, and we talk, and some of our best idea, and we drink after the show, obviously, never before the show, always afterwards.
Okay.
And some of our best ideas come out in when we're kind of having a little party after the show. The idea for the stilts and the pan costume and the truck, that happened on partway through the Accept tour. We'd finished a show, we're on the bus on the way to the next one, just having a few beers, and I can't remember whose idea it was, but somebody said, yeah, let's get Dave on like 6 foot high stilts, you know, some horns, and I'm saying, yeah, great idea, you know, and I'll make a trident, you know, and let's have some fire coming out the end of it, and that's how these ideas evolve, and I mean, probably 95% of the stupid ideas that we have never actually make it to reality, but some of them do. So, and everybody is involved in this process. Everybody puts
Who builds them?
me. That's well. I mean, I'm kind of a carpenter by trade. That's
compose and you build them.
well, yeah. I mean, the stage set I built, and most of the band's props I built. The pulpit and all that stuff that you've seen. The gargoyles. I made all those. So. Well, it's cheaper than buying them from, you know, a big production company. And you see, that's the thing as well. You know, you sort of come to one of our headline shows and there's all the stage set and everything, and the whole thing is totally homegrown. You know, there's no... I mean, we don't have a big production company working for us. Everything is...
But is it like your job as well, or is it just a hobby?
It's my job as well. I mean, we all still have day jobs. And my day job is that I'm a carpenter. You know, I make things like this. I mean, not gargoyles, and you know, I do kitchens and furniture and stuff like this. So, but yeah, and when I'm not doing that or rehearsing with the band or you know playing.
And what about the fire? Is it also you who figures out the exact quantity of everything?
Well, no, I mean, we have there's a company in the UK that actually manufacture all the pyrotechnic devices. And our propane system we bought because I mean you can't make your own propane gas system. It's a little you can, but it's a little dangerous, you know. So I mean we involve professional companies and we buy things for the stage set which too dangerous for us to make ourselves. But I mean a lot of the stuff is homemade.
What's your favourite?
The spinning trident. It's just so epic, and we've got some bigger gerbs for the end now that are like 15 metres or something. It's just mad. So we're using those at Bloodstock. Yeah. More fire.
If I can ask a question just to tie on from that, what's the ideas that's been had that one person thought, I've got a great idea, and everybody else just looked at it and went, what?
All of them.
When they tried to came to fruition, the church, the pulpit. What's the one that somebody's come up with that everybody else has thought, no, that's just too far, that's just...
all of them, really. But then I'll think, I'll go and make it, I'll just make it anyway, and just show it to the guys. And the trident was one of those ideas. And I thought, well, I'll make it anyway, so I just ordered all the pipe work and just kind of brought it the rehearsal room and said and I'd got it all loaded with they're called gerbs, the things that fire all the, and I said just watch this, and everybody stood back and I fired it. They thought that was great, and then it started to spin and everybody said we have to use it, it's just fantastic.
And how did Dave take it when you told him, Dave, by the way, you're going to be on stage in furry leggings and 6 foot stilts with a flaming trident?
He was really impressed. I mean, and the thing was, I told you that idea came up on the Accept tour. Yeah. Well, I mean, literally the day we got back, I was straight on eBay, ordering because I mean the stilts. You obviously you can't see them because they're hidden inside his legs, but they're actually the stilts that plasterers use. You know, when they're plastering ceilings. So they have it's kind of like a big foot, and the whole thing is articulated. Then there's a platform that his real feet go on, which is then strapped with Velcro. So, but he's actually used though. He's got a theatrical background. He was in a play called what the hell was it called? I think it was either Bat Boy or something like this, where he was actually on stilts on stage for kind of 6 months. So we put these things on it, and he can just walk in them straight away. He's really good on them, So it's good.
Did you ever have bad accidents with those pyros?
Never. There's too much thought and planning goes into it. These are. It's all very well, kind of laughing about all the pyros and the fire and all this kind of stuff, but these are dangerous devices. In actual fact, tomorrow, another one of our crew guys, we're paying for him to go on a professional pyrotechnic safety course, which is obviously costing the band a lot of money. But it'll also mean that we've got another guy on the crew who is a member of the Association of Stage Pyrotechnicians. And it just, you can't mess about with safety. It's just something which, I mean, we're entertainers. We're a professional band and we're professional entertainers, and our job is to entertain people, not hurt them. So not set fire to them. So
the posters that you guys put up in the foyer at the Derby gig.
Yeah.
How much of that was showmanship and how much of that was actually, yes, you guys are, if you're not assured if this goes off in your face?
It's 50-50. But I mean, seriously, you're not. I mean,
we were kind of close to the gargoyles' arses when they went off.
Certainly. Well, I mean, with a propane gas system, there is a specified 3-metre exclusion zone.
So you just understand that.
So yeah, and that's obviously why there's a pit at the front. But obviously, you guys are inside the pit, so we just felt it appropriate to tell you people. I mean, and it's important that you know, because obviously, the propane burners are hidden inside those gargoyles, and unless you knew about it, if you're kind of hanging over one of them, just about
the element of danger. That was the one thing.
Yeah, they're hot. They're really hot when those things go off. So, we care about people's safety a little bit.
Yeah, if you start emulating fans, it's not going to go down well.
No.
How hard was it to teach everybody to spit fire?
Surprisingly easy. I mean, and it's all about technique. What you have to do, I mean, well, first of all, getting the fuel, the correct type of fuel is very important. And what you have to do
Was it you who
it was actually Tony who used to do it back in the day. But the fuel that you use is a mixture of kerosene and paraffin, and it's very, very important to use the correct fuel because. Like the best fuel is something which, if you have a bowl full of it or a cup full of it, you actually put a flame in, and it won't. It's like diesel. If you get a match and you put it in a cup of diesel, it will extinguish the match. But then if you take the same fuel and you vaporise it, it will catch fire. And what you have to do when you're fire breathing is basically put a small amount in your mouth, and then you kind of go and you vaporise it, and it's actually the vapour that catches fire. Obviously, if you use gasoline or something, it's you die.
Your lips are still intact. So
yeah,
that's a good thing.
Yeah,
You do it right, I guess.
But again, it took a little practice. I mean, in fact, we practiced with milk to start with because water's too thin, and kerosene and paraffin, it's kind of got this slightly viscous texture like milk. So the trick is to learn how to vaporise milk first.
Does a mixture of kerosene and paraffin taste as bad as you kind of telling your
Well, the trick is not to swallow it, because if you do swallow it, it will give you horrific diarrhoea. No, really. I mean, if you go to the chemist shop, seriously, if you go to the chemist shop and you need a laxative, they will give you something that has liquid paraffin in it because it's an extreme laxative. And we've had some fun with.
It's the sort of thing you sort of learn by doing twice, I suppose. You get it wrong the first time, you think.
And again, there are things we've learned. I mean, we swallow activated charcoal capsules before we do this, so that if you swallow some accidentally, then the charcoal absorbs it, and you're not kind of running backwards and forwards to the toilet. So.
How much of those I mean, if you really have just 30-40 minutes, how much of that stuff are you bringing to the tour, which is coming up now?
What, the pyrotechnic stuff?
Yeah, or the whole show stuff.
Almost none. I mean, as far as the Monomarth and Carcass tour is concerned, as I said, we're the opening band. Yeah, it'll be us doing what we do. It's just not appropriate for a support band to have a big pyro show on a support gig. As I said, it's their tour, and it's an honour and a privilege for us to be on it. We're very, very lucky to be on that tour because it's one of the biggest tours in Europe. As I said, our job is to basically open the show and warm the crowd up, because it's the crowd are there to see Carcass and Monomarth. And as far as we're concerned, if we make some friends along the way, then we've done our job. So one of the most important reasons why we've always kind of focused on making the show as visually entertaining as possible is that we totally understand that what we do doesn't appeal to everybody, but would rather, you know, have people stand there because they like to watch it rather than just go to the bar. And one thing that we've noticed over all the shows that we've played, and there've been a lot, you know, a lot of different countries, is from the moment we come on stage, nobody ever leaves. Nobody ever leaves. They'll all stay and watch it all the way through to the end, rather than, you know, kind of disappear to the bar. And that tells us that that what we're doing is the right thing. And obviously, even if they're not particularly into the band musically, there's always something interesting to watch, you know, or something to smile at, or you know. And again, even though a lot of the music that we do has a, you know, very important kind of quite dark message, you know, if you want to communicate a message to an audience, I mean, there are really two ways that you can do it. You can either really, really force it down people's throats, and the problem then is that, you know, most people will just kind of put up a barrier after the first song, or you can kind of dress it up as something else, and just get it across a little bit more subtly by, you know, putting a big shit-eating smile on somebody's face, and yeah, and that's what we do, and it just kind of seems to work for us, really. Yeah, well, you know, it's.
If you could choose one co-headliner to have a co-headliner band ever, which band would it be?
What, the perfect tour?
Perfect match.
I would love to do a big tour with King Diamond. I mean, that would be my, you know, a world tour with King Diamond.
You can swap musicians.
That would just be the ultimate, you know. And you know, Bloodstock this year. I mean, King Diamond's headlining on the Friday, and I will be there. You know, King Diamond shirt, front row. Yeah, that would be great.
Do you ever forget your stuff on stage? You have so many synchronizations. Does it happen?
No. All having said that,
To put explosive in the Bible before you go on stage. Has that ever happened?
that's only happened once.
Sorry, mate.
Just the once. You're never going to let me forget that, are you?
It was so like
I just-
his face when he walked. You spoke to him as he walked on, and he went, "Oh, I'm going to throw it to the ground now because."
Well, you know that I told you that we're always trying to involve things. We have a twist. I mean, it won't be ready for Bloodstock, but there will be a twist to the Exploding Bible. We have it's David's idea when he said, "Don't you think it would be a good idea if we did this?" And I said yes. So I've got some more work to do in the garage.
Well, if Andrea's finished, I've got one question I'd like to. It's the same question I always when I speak to you, wrap up the interviews with. And every time I ask you, it gets a little bit more, a little bit more spit. Has it sunk in yet? When you guys were all doing different things, and now you're basically touring the world, playing the biggest festivals. Has it sunk in what you've actually achieved here, what you've got here?
I guess it's. It's always difficult to answer that question because at the end of the day, we're all just ordinary guys. I mean, the signing session last week in Germany was just mental, and I guess it's the fact that I think it's probably got a lot to do with the fact that, you know, because we kind of came into this late. None of us ever dreamed that anything like this would happen. Right from day one, we've always just taken one show at a time, and literally every single show that we do is a bonus. And people have often said to us, you know, every single gig you ever do, you know, even a little tiny festival, it's like you're headlining Wembley, and that is basically the philosophy of the whole band. Really, we will always give everything 100%. And it's just kind of what we do. But I mean, as I said right at the beginning, we're basically just ordinary guys who are just absolutely loving what we're doing.
Are you happy?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, who wouldn't be? You know, it's just something that we never thought would happen to us. And as a result of that, you know, it's made us very, very humble about. I mean, we always have been. You know, we've known you for a long time, and we've always been the same. You know, and the fans know all this as well. I mean, we always. I mean, after every show we do, we always try and make a point of going out into the crowd and, you know, hooking it with people. And you know, we were talking to the guys from Nuclear Blast last week, and they said that it's just like nobody else does that. You know, they haven't got another band on the roster who will go out into the crowd and. You know, pose for pictures and do all this kind of stuff, and it just means the world to these people, and for us, you know, they're as I've said before many times, you know, without these guys we'd be nothing. I mean, they buy our merch, they buy our albums, they come and see us, and it's just absolutely the least that we can do, and it's just, you know, it's 2 minutes of our time, and it's just, you know, but it means the world to them, and it means the world to us as well, you know. So, I mean, I don't think we'll ever change. You know, but it's an ego-free band. No, it really is. There's no, you know, there's no egos here. There's no kind of rock star pretension. But yeah, we're loving it, and yeah, long may it continue. Does that answer the question?
That answers the question, yes.
Good.
Good. That answer never changes.
No, it never will, mate. Never will.
That was finally lost it. I think that'll be